All right.
Take two.
Londi, Courtney,
Joey, Brandon, Tim, John.
I'm Marilyn. Alright, I'm
Ernest.
doing a speech, an informative speech from my online speech class. It's about the history of surfing. Surfing is the oldest ocean sport in the world. Over the past 40 years, surfing has gained a lot of popularity from movies to magazines. Basically, surfing's taking over the world. I myself became a fan of surfing since I was a young age due to my father's love for the Beach Boys. Surfing has gone a long way since the beginning, when only the ancient Hawaiis knew about the sport. It's actually pretty fascinating how surfing began to grow over the 50s and 60s, and even more amazing how surfing is being treated our present time. Surfing has been dated back to the 15th century, where the kings and queens, even the people of Hawaii, used to call surfing Ki'urula, which means wave sliding. The ancient surfing people of Hawaii never considered surfing to be a hobby, activity, or even extreme sport like we do nowadays. They instead considered surfing to be viewed as an art and also part of their culture. It was also a tradition in Hawaii to pray to the gods for a good swell and also to bless their surfers before they went out into the ocean. They also had ritual chants before the creation of surfboards to thank the gods for the pieces of wood they used to make their surfboards. In 1907, George Freed introduced surfing to California during a publicity stunt to help promote the opening of a railroad in Los Angeles in Huntington Beach, which was named after the guy that made the railroad in Huntington Beach. After that publicity stunt, surfing lay low for a while. For a few years, actually. Until the surfer Bud Brown learned how to shoot films. Bud himself was a terrific surfer and a waterman. Basically, he was accustomed to the ocean. He lived the ocean. So it was really easy for him to catch these revolutionary surf moves that he would just go in the water and film. He actually created an underwater camera to take it to the ocean. He was the first man to release the first surf movie, which was called Hawaii Surfing Movie. So you're like, hey. After the film started, basically it inspired everyone to start making films, making artwork, start making magazines. A guy named John actually did a series of photos of surfing before he came out with a magazine called The Surfer, which is now called nowadays Surfer. But from all of this, a lot of people started making their own stuff and surfing exploded. As the surfing popularity grew, so did the talk about surfing. And so did the talk, so did a lot of artists start making songs about surfing. Like everyone knows about the Beach Boys. Every song the Beach Boys had was about surfing. Like there's Surfing Safari, there's surfing now, there's Surfing Girl, there's Surfing USA, everything's about surfing. But basically all their songs sing about how they woke up every day, checked the report in California and found out that there's good surf and they knew that day was going to be amazing. And during that time, they created one of their songs, Surfing Safari, which was a ton of surfers would basically travel down the coast and surf, basically living off the land, and all they did night and day was surf. With all of that, plus the surfing and everything else, the publicity for surfing skyrocketed. They made it more than just a sport. They made it more of like a freedom, of a movement, basically. With every sport, there is always someone trying to be better than someone else. There is actually a group of surfers, which I actually saw a video on Billabong about them surfing the big wave, which are waves about 20 to 50 feet high, which are really rare and hard to find. So basically what they do is hunt for these waves. And whoever got the best wave was the best surfer. But being this crazy mindset that they all have, it's okay because that's the best way to get sponsored. And being sponsored, you get perks. You get free clothing, you get enter competitions, win $100,000. That's what they're doing nowadays with the X Games and the Mavericks and all other sport competitions. And also with the surf companies, like Bill Holcomb, Billabong, and Hurley, they do sponsor surfers, but they do have something else. They make surf brands as clothing, which a lot of people wear, as someone in the audience is wearing a Billabong shirt. A lot of people wear the clothing, and it's a style. It's a good style. I actually love my stuff. And the style ranges from actual little kids to like actual infants to actual adults. Like I've actually sold surf clothes to a 60-year-old man. So surfing has taken all sorts of entertainment, especially they actually form their own language. Like surfing, like surf language is their own lingo. Like I know everyone says dude, which is the surf lingo. And my favorite, which I learned, is what's it called? Shibi, I think. And it's someone that wears shubi, thank you. Someone that wears surf clothing. Like someone in the audience that doesn't surf, but they wear the clothing. Well, surfing is still a growing sport, and every day someone comes with new tricks. Now they use jet skis to catch the big waves. They take them to the very top so they can surf the big 20-foot, 50-foot waves. And they've actually done aerials in the waves, which I could never think would be possible, but surfers have actually made that happen. Well, I basically just discussed briefly the surf history, so you guys know everything about it. And I actually to myself believe that the Asian Hawaiians would actually be proud of how surfing has grown. And it's more than just a sport to a lot of people. It's actually freedom. It's actually somewhere to get away and enjoy it kind of way. So I say that y'all should just get up that board and just